All right, NBA Finals predictions and kind of matchups also to kind of go along with it to kind of get you know ready for the finals. Um, Curry and Irving are the point guards. Obviously, most people know this, but it's gonna be a really good matchup between them. Obviously, I think Irving is a superior ball handler to Curry. Not saying Curry's a bad ball handler. I think Irving that's his best asset. I think a lot of people like to see little videos of Irvin doing really quick little moves and he's raw and stuff. And he's a very good player, but I honestly think he might be a little bit more exciting. I honestly think Curry's a little bit of a better player. He's a good ball handler. He doesn't turn the ball over that often. Irvin doesn't turn the ball over that often. Like they, I mean, they're very similar players. Curry is a two-time MVP. Irving, I don't think he's won any MVPs. And I mean, when we talk about Irving's a better ball handler, but Curry is a way better shooter. Obviously, Curry's probably the best 3-point shooter of all time already at this point in his career. And he, just in the playoffs this year, he's shooting 43% to Irving's 35%. Irving's not as good of a 3-point shooter as he is. He's shooting a better field goal percentage in the playoffs too. I mean, obviously these are just stats that I have that are going on right now. They in the regular season they both averaged 25 points a game. Curry averaged 4 rebounds to his 3, and then they both averaged about 6 rebounds. So very similar stats. And then playoff wise, Curry has 5 more. Is averaging 28 points a game, 5 rebounds and 5 assists to Irving's 24 points, 2.5 rebounds and 5.5 assists. So he's also kind of stepped up his play in the playoffs, where Irving hasn't necessarily dropped, but he isn't playing necessarily, better. He's had some big game. He had a couple of big games in the playoffs. But um, this is a huge. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of huge matchups that matter, but the Curry Irving matchup I think is vital. Now, necessarily, Klay Thompson will probably be guarding Irving, so it's not like a direct matchup in that sense. But just saying the point guard matchup, it's going to be vital for these two guys to play well for their teams. If they want victories. And I give the edge to Curry right now, just the fact that he's playing. I feel like the way he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And then so you go on to the shooting guards now. The the Cavs have multiple shooting guards that they sub in. So you talk about J.R. Smith. He shoots about 48% from three in his field goal percentage is about 48 too. He's at his now. Most of the players' points per game for the Cavs have gone down a little bit since LeBron's averaging as much as he has. But I mean, his is pretty similar. He was averaging 8 during the regular season. Now he's averaging 6, about 3 rebounds. It's a little bit less than it was. But I've seen him make some good threes. He's going to be a guy that in the playoffs is just one of those uh, good subs for the Cavs. You talk about like Ahmad Sumter. Ahmad Sumter's a better defender, I feel like, than J.R. Smith. He's averaging less points than he was in the regular season. He was averaging 7 in the regular season. Now he's averaging 4. He shoots about the same percentage as J.R. Smith in both categories. And then 3 rebounds, 1 assist. So, but these guys, they switch out a lot. Corver's a guy that was averaging 10 points a game in the regular season, only averaging 6 now. Um, him and Thompson are kind of cold from three right now. I mean, he is shooting 41% from three, 44 field goal percentage, but he's only averaging 6 points a game. He's averaging a rebound less, and about the same amount of assists, which is 1. Um, and uh, then you talk about the Warriors. It's Klay Thompson, um, or Clay. Yeah, and um, he was averaging 22 points a game during the regular season, and now he's only averaging 14 points a game. His points per game has dropped dramatically. Now he's only shooting 36% from three, 38 field goal percentage. His rebounds are about the same, 3.5, and assists are about the same too. He just isn't scoring as much now. The reason he was even averaging 22 points a game, I think, in the regular season was when Durant went out. I think he got hot, and I think he was playing well. But now the fact that Durant's back, I think he's more of like the third scorer. So, he's not averaging as many points per game, but, he's a vital defender. He's good. He's good at spreading the defense out, staying on the 3-point line. And, it's, to me, I feel like it's hard to score points when you're playing with Durant and Curry. And so then moving on to Durant and LeBron, probably the main matchup in the finals. And Durant and these guys, they shoot about the same percentage. Durant's 55 and 41, field goal and 3-point respectively. LeBron's 56 and 42, so they're about the same. And in the regular season, Durant's averaging 25, 8, and 5, and LeBron's averaging 26, 9, and 8. So they're averaging about the same amount of points per game. But LeBron is, obviously plays more point guard, is a better assister. And Durant is about a rebound down from him. So honestly, Durant gets a lot of rebounds for the Warriors. I don't know if he's averaged this many rebounds in the past. Playing with Westbrook and playing with other tall guys. Now in the playoffs, he's averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. So his assists have gone down a bit. And LeBron's averaging 32.5, 8, and 7. So, LeBron stat-wise is more superior than Durant. But obviously to me that doesn't explain a lot of things because, when I think about the Warriors, I think that between those 4 guys that are very important to their team, I think the wealth is shared around them. And the fact that, Draymond Green averages 7 assists a game, is another reason Durant doesn't have as many assists. He's more of a shooter type. But LeBron has just kind of taken over this playoffs. I think, he kind of, I think he understood that his team's not as good as it has been in the past, or as he thought it was in a sense, and he knows that the Warriors are really good. And I think that's kind of why he's become more of the dominant, player in the playoff that he has. I mean, he does this honestly every year. But to me, Durant is gonna. I don't even know if Durant would cover LeBron, honestly. Yeah, I mean they probably put Draymond on LeBron, anyways. And yeah, so I don't know if I honestly don't know if they'll be matched up against each other. That's honestly a big question mark to me. If I was the Warriors, I would put Durant on Kevin Love and have Green on LeBron. And then so then you go to the power forward matchup. It's Green versus Kevin Love. But so they're shooting 47% from three, both of them. Kevin Love shooting 45% field goal percentage. Green shooting 50%. So now Green averaged 10 points a game, eight rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals in the regular season. And in the playoffs, he's averaging 14 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1.9 steals. So almost 2 point alone steals again. What is intriguing to me is that he stepped up his play in the postseason. You know, when I think about you know who has the most like redemption on their mind this like whole playoffs, and like who wants this most is probably Draymond Green, and I think Draymond Green's gonna have an outstanding finals. Um, you know, if if Durant is not the MVP, I think Draymond Green will be MVP. I think he'll make huge plays all over the place. Kevin Love was averaging 11, 19, 11, and 2 in the regular season. In the postseason, he's averaging 17, 10, and 2. Um, so numbers down a bit than it was, not a lot. But he's a real key guy to spread you out. That's why I was thinking about it for a minute, and I was thinking, yeah, he'll probably be on Durant. So like Kevin Love's a good rebounder, but to me, I look at him as kind of like a more of a soft rebounder, in the sense of I don't know. He's just kind of like, I feel like he got a lot of rebounds in the last series, but I don't know. I don't think I just don't see like when I think about the Cavs and I think about the team they have. Like they have a good team, but their team's not like they have athletic players. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're in the NBA, you're athletic, but like they don't have the athletes that the Warriors have. Like the Warriors have athletes, like young athletes all across the board that are hungry. They lost finals last year. You know what I mean? Durant wants a ring. Yeah, I mean they don't get they played the villain all year. Like I mean, if I was the Cavs, I would be scared of the Warriors. I mean, like, but I mean, the one matchup that I would say, I mean, obviously LeBron, but the one matchup that I would say that that is the biggest matchup is Thomas against JaVale McGee. And I guess JaVale McGee and Zaza Pachulia, because I think Zaza will start and I think McGee will come off the bench. Now, McGee has a lot more points in the playoffs. He's played more. They've utilized him more. But he only has 3 rebounds a game. Now, is that because Durant gets a lot of rebounds? Is that because Draymond Green gets a lot of rebounds? Yeah, but at the same time, like he didn't get a lot of boards, and so that's something that, and maybe he's boxing out. Maybe they've asked him just to try to get him in, and Durant and Green will get the rebound. I don't know, but he's only averaging 3 rebounds a game, even in the playoffs, and he doesn't assist the ball. So every time he touches the ball, he's basically dunking it or putting it back. Zaza 6 points a game in the regular season, in the playoffs. He's kind of dealt with a couple injuries late. 6 rebounds in the regular season, 4 in the postseason, averaging. So then, and then coming off the bench, Iguodala. Iguodala is not what he was. I know he won the MVP like 2 years ago, and I know a lot of people don't pay attention to basketball, so they probably thought Iguodala was like some raw individual all year. And Iguodala was a good player during the year, but like he played lights out in the playoffs, or not maybe in the finals at least. He was averaging 7 points during the year, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Now he's averaging 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So I mean, he's going to be a guy that's going to come in off the bench, play good minutes. But I don't think he's anything of what he was. I think a lot of people when they look at the Warriors, they include the name Iguodala, and I think they shouldn't really do that anymore. I think he's more like a veteran. I mean, they have someone like David West, and David West is someone that you don't. Oh, they have David West. You know what I mean? David West just they know David West is an old bench a guy, old guy that comes off the bench. You know what I mean? Or most people don't even know. Oh, that's the guy that was the good power forward that played with Chris Paul when he was in New Orleans, or I guess Charlotte. It was at first, and then New Orleans. Um, but I mean, he's been consistent, averaging. He averaged 4.6 points a game in the regular season. In the postseason, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Um, in the regular season, three rebounds, 3 assists in the postseason. McCall is another guy that may come off the bench some. He may play a little bit. I don't really know. Um, he made a couple starts in the playoffs. He's getting good experience. He averaged 5 points in the playoffs, 2.3 points, 1.4 assists. Livingston's been a key piece in the playoffs. He's shooting 61% in the postseason. Um, Only 4 points a game and 2.7 in the playoffs. 1.6 assists. So like he didn't like fill up the stat sheet that much. But he's a key piece to their team. Ian Clark, he's a guy that he comes off the bench and he's pretty good. He's a good young player. Like I look at him as someone that he didn't get a lot of playing time, so he didn't really average that many points. But he could go to a team that was bad, and he would probably be pretty good. Averaging 7.5 points and 1.8 assists, 0.7 assist a game. He's a shooting guard. Shooting guard that comes off the bench, and then going back to the Cavs, they got veterans like Richard Jefferson. I don't know if Richard Jefferson will play that much. He was a guy they used last year in the postseason, and they also used him some in the regular season more. But in the postseason, he's playing about half the time that he was. He's only averaging like 3 points a game, 1 rebound, half an assist. Darren Williams is their backup point guard. He's averaging 5.6 points a game, 1 assist, 2.5 assists a game. And we'll see how he does. He'll just be kind of like that bench, like a guy that comes off the bench. And then Channing Frye, he averaged 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 0.6 assists in the regular season. But in the playoffs, he's averaging 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 1 assist. So he stepped up his play a little bit, not points wise, obviously, but rebounds wise, he's got a lot more rebounds. So, look for him to maybe, because some of the X factors in the series to me are rebounds, turnovers, and 3-point shooting. Those are probably the three biggest things in this series to me because. If anything, you would look at the Warriors and say, okay, they lack rebounding. And then you can say, well, they have Draymond Green, they have, Durant, who average, in the playoffs, 8 and 9 rebounds a game. And there's Curry, there's Thompson, those guys, 3.5, 5.5. I mean, there's certain guys, like the best basketball players do everything well. They get points, they get assists, they get rebounds. They do all good basketball players do all things well. There's guys that are shooters, and those guys only score points, and they have a couple assists, maybe a couple of rebounds. When you look at the Warriors, they've got 4 guys that do all those things pretty well. Maybe you can put Klay Thompson out, and I think that's just because only so many people can fill up a stat sheet. But I mean, Green, Durant, Thompson, and Curry are 4 of the best players in the league, and they have a super team. You know what I mean? And to me, this whole playoffs, this hyping of LeBron, this LeBron being so good and having such a great playoffs is just to make it feel like they have a chance. And now, I saw, I saw it's no fun if you're betting on the series. It's no fun to say I think the Warriors are going to win because and then the thing is if the Cavs lose, you can say, well, the Warriors have a super team. I'm jumping out on a limb and I'm going full force and I'm saying the Warriors are going to win. And I think the Warriors are going to really handle the Cavs. I think the only thing that will keep the Cavs in the game are the refs. LeBron and the refs, honestly. Kevin Love is going to get destroyed by Draymond Green. Let's just be honest. And let's say, okay, we're going to put Kevin Durant on Kevin Love. Kevin Love will demolish Kevin Love. That's all I'm going to say. We're talking. Think about if we get a switch and Durant's getting the drop on Kevin Love. You're telling me Kevin Love's staying in front of Durant? I'm telling you, the only thing that will keep the Cavs in the series is the referees. When I talk about, Irving is a good player. Irving is a great player. But Irving is not as good as Stephen Curry. I don't care what nobody says. If you're going to sit here and tell me that Irving can make shots, all right? But Irving is not that great of a shooter. If you want to if you're one of the great players, you need to be good at all aspects of your game. And he has aspects of his game that he needs to improve. And I think he's one of those guys that is easy to like because it's easy to look at highlights of it. He makes fun little stuff like that. He's a very, very talented player. Don't get me wrong. He'll probably go off in the fucking playoffs and the finals. But he's not as good as Stephen Curry. You know what I mean? They're trying to trick you. They want you to think that the Cavs have a chance in the series. They have no chance. Nobody has a chance. The Warriors did this on purpose. Honestly, this is how I feel. The Warriors did this on purpose because they said, think about last year. Ayesha Curry came out and said, this is rigged. She tweeted, this is rigged. You're telling me that her and her husband didn't have a conversation about that? And him thinking, and I don't know why Durant came to the Warriors. I don't know what in his right mind made him say I'm going to leave the Thunder. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest with you. Business wise, I'm thinking Warriors, Spurs, Rockets, Thunder on the Thunder with Kevin Durant. That's a damn good Western Conference semifinals. You know what I mean? That's four damn good teams, four good matchups. Thinking about Warriors and Thunder in the Western Conference semifinals this year with Durant on the Thunder, and then Rockets versus Spurs with Harden versus Kawhi. I really believe that the Warriors fucked the league up on purpose because I think the 3-1 LeBron coming back last year was some straight horse shit. Them suspending Draymond Green in the middle of the series was straight horse shit. I think they did it just to see if they could prolong the series. And then it got flipped back to Cleveland, and then Cleveland jumped out to a huge lead in Game 6, and they fucking made it impossible for the Warriors to come back. Every time they started to make a comeback, they just make some bullshit foul. Curry had enough of it. That was when Curry fucking threw his mouthpiece and hit that fan and got ejected. And then Game 7 was just it makes you sick because it was just pure the Cavs were the better team that day. You know what I mean? all you had to do was make it to Game 7. Like, and you saw LeBron was like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I'm going all out. You know, like when Game 7 came around. I mean, he was going all out for all of it. But I mean, to me, Game 6, you know, was the biggest horse shit of it all. I mean, I know the Cavs did jump off to a good lead. The Warriors didn't look good at first, but the Warriors made a comeback, and that's how the Warriors honestly played a lot of the year. They made a lot of comebacks because they get hot from three, and that's what they do. But I honestly think the Warriors will win in 6 games. I think Game 1 will be a big game, but I think honestly the Cavs could win Game 1, and I think for the NBA. For the league, it's very important for the Cavs to win Game 1 because it gives belief that the Cavs can win the series. It gives them belief that they can win in 7, like back at the Warriors' place, and then 2. I think Game 2 will for sure go to the Warriors. I think the Warriors will blow them out of the water. Game 3 will probably go to the Cavs. Game 4 will go to the Warriors. Game 5 will go to the Warriors. And then Game 6 in Cleveland, the Warriors will fucking do it to them in 6 on their home floor. I think is how they'll want to do it. And, you know, toss up to me, you know, Thompson needs to improve his play for the Warriors to win. Curry has to continue his level of play. The shooting that he does, he's got to improve. He's got to continue to do that. Durant needs to continue to be on this mission that he's been on all year. I mean, he doesn't give a fuck what nobody says. He's gonna do what he does. And then Draymond Green's playing better than he played in the regular season. To me, best defensive player in the league. Kawhi Leonard, best two-way player in the league. So, you know, they're gonna put him on LeBron, and he's gonna cover him. Durant's gonna cover fucking K-Love. K-Love's not gonna get no boards. Tristan Thomas is the only hope. Is the only hope for them. You know, so let's talk about if the Cavs were to win. Irving is gonna have to just be a brick shit house, honestly. Like he's gonna have to be awesome. Like he's gonna have to have some games where he takes over. And I don't think Irving and LeBron, I mean, obviously in the finals, I don't think Irving and LeBron really are that great of a matchup because Irving is a scoring point guard. LeBron is the same thing. Obviously, he's a way bigger and he's listed more of like a small forward, but he plays a lot of point guard. He's like Magic Johnson. He's like a bigger version of Magic Johnson. That's how I look at LeBron. Kobe was MJ. LeBron, Magic. So LeBron has taken over this playoffs. He's averaging the same amount of assists, or one less assist, one less rebound, but his points have gone up. You know, Irving's has stayed the same. I mean, to me, it's really hard for Irving to get in a rhythm when LeBron goes takeover mode and just dribbles the ball down the court every time and does his thing. But then it's like if you don't give it to LeBron every time down the floor, then it's like they get out of that rhythm. But then it's like he tries to start getting people involved. So it's like, I don't know. Irving and LeBron are just gonna have to go off together. I don't know how that'll happen though. JR is gonna have to have a good series. You know, Sumter play good defense. Korver, you're gonna have to play good. I don't even know if they're gonna play Korver that much. Channing Frye is gonna have to have a huge series. Darren Williams, veteran play. Maybe Jefferson will get some play. But Tristan, like I was saying, Tristan Thomas is the key. I think Kevin, like I've been saying the whole time, Kevin Love's going to get destroyed on the boards. He's gonna made look soft, just like he did last year in the finals. I know they're like, oh, we're gonna hit in the head or whatever. No, he's just soft when he has to play the Warriors. And then Thompson is their only hope. X factors for the Cavs: Jr., Corver, Sumter. Those are X factors. Honestly, Irving is like main X factor because it really is like he really is the factor in like will the Cavs win or not is depending on how Irving plays. And he's gonna play good. He's gonna get a lot of points. He shoots a lot, but is he gonna make key plays late in the game? And then for the Warriors, obviously you got the big four. The X factors: JaVale McGee. How will he play? Will he get his rebounds up? How will Zaza play? Will he hurt somebody else? But and like I said, Draymond Green is going to be MVP. If he doesn't get MVP, fuck the league. If Westbrook doesn't get MVP, fuck the league. But I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Curry or Durant, and I wouldn't be surprised if they give the regular season MVP to Harden.